SkullFace Records Radio, teaming up with KPRIS. The
Boom, we're here. Episode 2, Transparent Podcast. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Right here, Travis Franklin. What's going on, brother?
What's up?
Man, it's been a fun week. It's been a crazy weekend. I'm glad that we have followed schedule. We're here right when we were one day late. We said we want to be on Tuesday. We came in one day late.
And we tried.
But we're here. We did our investigation last week. We have an investigation tonight. So we have a big week, and then we just had the rod run deal, man. So I feel like we can't ignore the rod run. You know, how was the rod run? Did anybody ask about anything, paranormal? Did they talk about anything in the lore of the haunted Cynthiana?
Nope, I had to work.
Nothing. So you had to sit over at the shop all day.
At the shop all day.
That's what we did too. We were over at our shop, so we were running ragged. We had the show next door at the Legends Bar and Events, and then here at SkullFace Records, we were tending to the public. And then this morning we've been in here getting everything ready, just kind of shooting the breeze, talking about what we were going to do the show and what's coming up. And we left some waters. We were getting rid of waters to the public on Rod Run, and we've been leaving them out on the steps in this big old trough. So what we've been doing is we've been seeing all these people coming up and trying to sneak them an old water and then run around. So we're trying to, we were talking about it. We were like, hey, we need to put on masks and have cameras. And when they grab them, we just go out and just stare the fucking shit out of them.
Then a minute later, there's guys out there digging in the water.
Yeah, they're right there. I was like, I told you, man. I was like, this is crazy, man. The people, which, it's only water, so we don't care. But it's weird what people think's theirs that's not sometimes.
Walk up and help themselves.
Yeah, they just do do as they please when they think nobody's watching, which is kind of interesting. So Colville Bridge, KPRIS investigates Colville Bridge, Cynthiana, Kentucky. It's in the past. It was last week. It was my first investigation, period, and it was my wife's first investigation, period. And to you, though, you had been out to this bridge, I mean, I wouldn't say hundreds of times, but possibly. You've lived here your whole life. How many times do you think you've investigated the Colville Bridge?
Been there several, probably 100 times, just because it's around this part of the community, but actually investigating probably 8 or 10 times.
Mm-hmm. Before we take off through here, Travis, is there anything you can tell the people about what you know from past investigations out here at the Colville Bridge?
Only evidence I've gotten at all, really, that I can say is credible, because I did it myself, was I took one picture, got that weird mystery spoke about on the first podcast. Go back and listen to it.
Mm-hmm. Transparent Podcast. You can find it on SkullFace Records Radio.
Of course, Chris Tanner, he kept a picture of it on this end.
The same thing, right?
Yeah, right here on this end of the bridge. On a trip 3 years later.
And I know what you was saying. We stopped here at the studio and kind of talked a couple minutes. We were getting hype. I felt an energy about just leaving to go do the investigation, which was a whole lot of fun. But you had said that the bridge itself never really stood out to you much. You knew the tales. You told us about a car wreck accident. Someone, I believe the name of Bobby, hung themselves in the middle as well, and some other incidents. But you were saying it's kind of the allure that gets you is right beyond the bridge, around the bridge. There's a little cliff mountain way that you said is where you've kind of felt some energy. Could you tell people about that?
There's one end as you come into the bridge from the Harrison County side, there's a long straight stretch that runs right up to the bridge. And on the opposing side, there's a rock face immediately. At his hard left, and there's a rock face. Mm-hmm. Up in, I guess, the top of that area, I've always kind of sensed that maybe there's something up there watching you. You get that paranoid, somebody's looking over your shoulder kind of vibe, and there's always some kind of weird noise or rocks getting tossed or, things of that nature. So.
Yeah, and I kind of sensed a little bit. What happened is, as soon as we get there, I'm going to fast forward just a second, just for a moment. But as soon as we get there and we get out of the car, my wife's K2 starts going off. Yeah, so I have a K2 meter, so that's the only dot you'll be able to see. I don't have any other light with me. I have Brittany next to me, and then I have Travis and Tanner behind me. I'm going to start approaching the bridge here. We are just starting the investigation, and Brittany's just going crazy again. I'm going to let her live.
Look, it's going all the way to the red.
All her lights are just fucking flashing like it's a poker game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we were parked. And then you told us about that. Travis, Brittany's going to be using this K2 that you're allowing her to use. Will you tell everybody at home and let her know a little bit of what it does and how it works?
K2 meter reads electromagnetic fluctuations in the electromagnetic field. It lights up accordingly, depending on how strong the field's being broken or whatnot, how much energy there is there.
It completely made sense.
And we heard a noise real early on, too.
Yeah.
I just heard something out here.
I did, too, like a clack.
Yeah, like a rock or something.
All right, so one of the tales, you know the story for this bridge?
Not totally.
So what's going on is behind us, Brittany and Travis both heard kind of a clap.
It was like a rock being thrown or something.
Okay.
So here's the story. One of them, quickly, we've got they say back in the day, a black guy hung himself in the center of the bridge here.
Oh, so right in the south. I told you I felt weird when I went around the center. I literally said, I'm at the center of the bridge right now, and I feel uneasy for some reason.
Another story is an old lady was walking through it. It was hot. She got halfway through, had a heart attack, and passed away.
Ooh.
Another one is some young kids were coming down the straight stretch, and I just ran off and
just
ran and drowned or whatever.
Yeah. So, like I said, we met here at SkullFace Studios, and then we took off to Colville. And like I said, there was an energy. There was an energy that I felt. You had mentioned, you were like, hey, what should we do? I asked you, what should we do? What should we plan for? And almost, it was almost comical to everybody, but you said, bring batteries.
Yep. Every time. They will eat them up.
I got to change my battery, too.
I can't be. My recorder is dead. My fucking camera's dead.
Bring some batteries, and I kind of giggled it off, and I put a couple extra pair in my britches, and went out that way. But funny thing was, we followed you all. You guys took the lead. We followed you guys out. We were listening to rock and roll. We were excited. It's our first investigation. It's something we've wanted to do forever. I've wanted to work with you for fucking a couple years now. Mm-hmm. And now we're finally doing it. So when things come to fruition, you got that good energy. So I'm trying to shoot this little promo, which we'll probably show. We have the footage of it. We'll put it out there. We have tons of footage of being out there. So we're going to add that to the show as we're going. I'm doing a little promo with my wife, just being like, hey, we're following Tanner and we're following Travis. We're on our way to Colville Bridge. This is our first investigation. We're super excited. Her phone dies.
Yep. It takes no time sometimes.
She made sure that she charged her phone. So she had to recharge. She had to put it into the car charger. We'd find the car charger, use it to even get up to once we got there, we had 30% because it was a heck of a drive too. I didn't realize it was so far out.
I don't know if you recall, but my digital recorder, a little voice recorder, I put fresh brand new energizers in it, and it was 20 minutes, 30 minutes dead.
Wow. So we're pulling up on the bridge. It's a long road. As the road, the closer you get to the bridge, the smaller the road gets. It becomes like a really small Kentucky country road. And you're coming up on it, and when you first see it, this is the first time I've ever visibly seen it, not being inebriated to where I don't really remember. Because I believe my wife took me by there a few times, but I don't remember it at all. So we're coming up on it, and I see it, and it looks badass. Here we go. We're coming up on the Colville Bridge right here. I'm gonna go.
This is creepy.
I'm gonna go on through it and then park however he parks.
I almost feel like I should roll over.
Look at this. Yeah, what if somebody just grabs on and grabs you? Look at this. It's freaky. Holy shit. So here's the drive-through.
I feel like we're going on
Whoa. Not something you do every day. All right, there's a little place actually to park here.
It's pretty creepy. It's
Yeah.
all dark and just
It
ominous.
Yeah, being in the middle of nowhere, coming up on it, knowing what we're there for, knowing we're going there because people think that it's haunted, and we're trying to figure out if it is or not, getting some evidence. Coming up on it was pretty neat. It was a really neat experience. And then you have that slow row through it, and it's a wooden bridge.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some creaking, and there's some cracking, going across this bridge. And we get to the other side, and boom, you just slide around and park right next to that wall you were talking about.
Yep.
We get out. You have devices that we get to use. Can you tell them a little bit about the devices that we used throughout that night, throughout the investigation?
You and Britt had the K2 meters. Of course, they judge or measure electromagnetic fields fluctuations, and of course, we had some activity out of those during the night. We used the SB7 Spirit Box, which is pretty popular.
Awesome. We're going to talk more on that here in a little bit for sure.
Of course, we just took pictures and audio and all the usual. That location's kind of odd because, being a road. And
Well, I don't want to hit on it too much, but we're getting ready to go into a break. But right before that, there's something that you brought out towards the end that we were there. And there was these 3 lights that you laid out, and they were glowing all kinds of weird ways. What were those called? I never caught what those were actually.
it's real high-tech gadgetry. They are little cat toys.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No shit.
It's a little cat ball. You smack it, and it
Also, you just put it on there and you sit.
reactive to motion. So it's a perfect little cheap toy.
That's hilarious. And everyone, we've got to pay some bills. We appreciate you tuning in. We'll be right back with more
Transparent podcast on SkullFace Records Radio.
I'm Travis Franklin, and I'm Nick Nasty. We're not wearing pants.
I'm Travis Franklin.
I'm Nick Nasty, and you're watching the Transparent Podcast on SkullFace Records Radio.
SkullFace Records.
Boom, we're back. Appreciate everyone that's tuning in. Did you know, Travis, that you can watch our podcast on Spotify,
I did know, but I should act like I didn't.
iTunes,
Wow.
any major podcast provider? You can now watch or listen to the Transparent Podcast via SkullFace Records Radio. This podcast you're seeing now, this is episode 2, and this is the format that you're going to see with the more, is this the more proper show? Even though we say, we're insanely weird and insane possibly, but
Little bit.
is this the calmer show compared to the other side of the Transparent Podcast that we're going to be setting up here soon?
Well, I don't know if we're going to be bouncing off the walls and things like that.
Well, I mean,
but
you're bringing in fucking chairs that you've literally seen spirits that's grabbed onto you from. Like, but yeah, we're not trying to start anything. We're not trying to start any trouble.
bringing in a little picture that's got something attached to it. Got
I'm excited
creepy
for-
little dog that's coming along.
Yeah, I'm excited about the new set, man. I think that's going to be interesting. I think it's just going to add another awesome feature to our show, Transparent Podcast.
Make it a little spooky in here.
So, Travis, we are out at the Colville Bridge, first time. Me and my wife get out of the car, and we are overwhelmed with excitement. But I realize that, I have a camera that can't film anything without a flashlight, so I'm audio only. She's got her phone out, God bless her. And then you come with the suitcase. You come with the hardware. You come like the roadie. You know what I'm saying? Like, you were fucking prepared. And I seen all that, and I was like, kind of like a little kid. I was like, can we use some of that too?
Holy shit.
Forgot all about that.
Was there anything I can do? Can I hold anything?
There's another one there.
Same thing.
Yep.
And all I have to do is hold it.
Yep.
Like there's nothing else to it. It's on right now and it's ready to go.
You were
Happens
like,
every
fuck.
time, man.
You were like, fuck yeah. So you hand me and her a K2, correct? Is that what it's called?
K2 meter.
I absolutely loved it. I can say from my first experience with one, my wife's first experience with one, which I just told a small fib. We went on a ghost hunt in Cincinnati where somebody handed us one. Like, they handed everybody on the trip one. But I really didn't get anything at all. And I didn't feel like it was anything going on. Like it was too like predetermined what we were
Probably too
doing.
many people around. It makes it difficult.
It was odd. But grabbing this, you handed me that K2 made me feel like I had something to do. It made me feel like I was there for a reason, and now I can try to figure out if I can communicate with this stuff. If anything wants to communicate with
you
me.
were Peter Venkman?
I guess I kind of was. I was going into my childhood Ghostbusters, fantasies. So we take off across the bridge. Me and my wife gets out. You hand it to her within 5 minutes or less. Hers is going crazy. And then you reveal that you're feeling this energy from around the way that you discussed on the first segment of the show. And we're talking about maybe an Indian thing. We're talking about, like, we've heard a folklore of that. We've heard stories of that. Brittany being there, with a nod of the head, did you feel anything around the same area? Like when that happened, when you came out and you immediately, had it go off, what was you feeling?
I felt something around my left leg a lot.
She was saying she was feeling something around her left leg, which that happened throughout the entire night, correct?
Oh my
Legs
gosh.
tingling.
My
Woo!
That is crazy.
We wasn't
Like-
recording it.
no, it's like only like my left leg has, the hair sticking up feeling.
Yeah, we're going to have her in as a guest, too. Because today we do have a special guest. We're going to have Tanner in the studio.
Yeah, with big work.
Yeah, he's going to be on the show the next segment, so that's something that's going to be a whole lot of fun.
If you can fit him on the camera, boy's a damn Mack truck, man.
Woo-wee. She's being lit up. We stay there in that same area. We get everything ready. You're getting ready. You have your setup how you like to film. Tanner's got his setup on what he likes to do. And we take off across the bridge, and we're walking slowly across the bridge, just kind of wandering my way across the right side of this place. And I'm not getting anything, and she's starting to get lit up again. And I think the first time around down the bridge was the first time that she got lit up. But then we went all the way down the bridge, which when I got to the middle of the bridge-ish, I felt weird.
Yep.
I had like it was a soreness in my back, a tightness.
Did you check for scratches?
I didn't check for anything. It was pitch dark and I didn't have a light. Like I said, I came in prepared. Like I was filming the little dot on my K2. That's all you can see on my film.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
So if it lights up, you get to see it, which I had a few of those, but my wife was being lit up. But like I said, I got to the middle, started feeling tightness. We made it to the end. We came back, and it was kind of quick how we came back. And on the way back, I felt like I had the heebie-jeebies, but that might have just been because of the darkness behind me or something.
That's kind of the middle of the bridge. Has that vibe anyway.
It really does. But me and my wife make it back to the top where the car is, kind of regroup, come back, and I start saying, hey, you really started getting lit up. These people, I feel like when I was asking them questions, might have been communicating to you, or there might be what we were dealing with at home might be just attached to you. So when I asked that question immediately, she got more response.
Lit up, 3 or 4 of the lights?
For
Kind of flickered.
for probably 20 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
It was boom, 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 boom.
How are you feeling, Brittany? It seems like you're getting communicated with more than anybody right now at this moment. Like what? Look, going
As
crazy.
you're saying that.
As I'm saying that, it goes nuts. Like it's going nuts. Like green, yellow, orange, red, green, yellow, orange, red. Like what do you want to say? Like what do you have going on? Like talk to it, but see if it'll talk
I know.
to you.
I feel like it wants to talk to me, but I have no idea what it's trying to communicate.
Like we were just talking
Like, I
about
have that
how
feeling.
much she's being
Oh, look,
communicated with. Boom.
it's as I say that.
What is it? Maybe it's this thing from the ridge. Like, are you coming from the ridge? Are you communicating
Look,
from
it's
over here? Or are you communicating from the bridge?
And people have to understand, too, that this bridge, there's no electrical work or wiring or anything even remotely close. I think there's a house
It's
about
country,
75 yards up the hill.
Country. It was country. I mean, we only had how many cars pass us? What'd you say, 2?
2, yeah.
There's only 2 that went by. So with the K2s, like I said, I had a little bit of just 2 times I had something happen, but hers was lit up the whole time. Now, the fun part happened when you brought out that box.
The spirit box.
That spirit box.
SB7.
That spirit box. But I don't want to get into it too fast. We're fixing to take it to commercial, but before we do, up to that point to where I'm at, we're there for the first 15, 20 minutes. I seen you, like you were in your zone, you were doing your own thing, you were getting your own positions and seeing what you could find or what you're feeling. How did you feel up to the first like 15, 20 minutes of that investigation?
Funny things, I've already said before, I've never really gotten a whole lot out there. It did actually seem to be having a little bit of activity. Mm-hmm. Felt something off over by the cliff area, maybe. I kind of had a little heebie-jeebies over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like there was definitely something happening. I mean, we had some responses on the K2. And
it really was. It was a neat way to get it kicking off, especially for being my first one. Like I was really kind of almost hypnotized by what was going on, sorta. Like I was kind of wanting just to be a part of it and make sure that if anything was trying to communicate, I wanted to be able to be there for it and make it happen.
I mean, you were definitely digging, interacting with the OSB7 and all that.
AKA Nick, shut the fuck up and let the ghost be able to reply. We'll talk about that joke on there, man, maybe at a later time, but it was hilarious. Check it out. We'll be back. More
Transparent Podcast, SkullFace Records Radio.
Thanks everyone for tuning in to
SkullFace Records Radio.
Please enjoy all the newest and hottest podcasts like Me, Max, and a Mike, hosted by Mr. Everything, Max Sled, and the
Best hand in the house,
legendary Larry D. They discuss life as a wrestler and Larry D's experiences with Impact Wrestling. Don't miss one single episode of Me, Max, and a Mike podcast series, Making an Impact. KPRIS with SkullFace Records presents where Nichimes and Travis Franklin explores and investigates the most haunted areas of Cynthiana, Kentucky.
Falls and Power Chords.
Hosted by Michael Lynn Watkins and Nichimes. They listen to the best underground metal from all over the world and discuss mainstream professional wrestling. Don't miss the weekly CD of a Week by Michael Lynn Watkins, and then the Battle of the Bands.
Mix Mayhem Music Review.
A fun and entertaining podcast that highlights unheard music from all over the world, being discussed and broke down by Nichimes and Ryan the Lion Lochner. Don't miss the video of the week and all the great tunes on
Mix Mayhem Music Review.
Tune in to Live with Nick Nasty, where you'll hear all the latest news with anything associated with
SkullFace Records /radio.
A monthly top 10 show, and you never know who will be the next big guest sitting in the studio with Nichimes. Live with Nick Nasty. Please subscribe and share. All of our podcast shows are available on Spotify and all major podcast providers. Don't forget about our Bandcamp, where you can hear all the music. SkullFace Records Radio.
SkullFace Records Radio.
Boom, we're back. Transparent Podcast. You might see that Travis Franklin has now morphed into Tanner Harney. I appreciate you being here, Tanner. This is the segment here on Transparent Podcast where we're trying to interview some of the investigators that were actually out on the investigation with us. And I know that you've been a part of the KPRIS for a long time. How long have you been with them, and how long have you been into investigating ghosts?
Well, since I was a kid, I've always wanted to experience myself. And I'm probably met Travis 2-3 years ago.
Okay, cool.
And he talked to me about it and what he's been doing. And I would say I've been helping him probably a year. Close to it.
I know when you were there, I felt like I was with a veteran. I felt like I was with somebody that did that bridge before. Was this the first time out in Colville Bridge, or had you been out there before with an investigation?
That would have been my third time. So I've been
cool.
there twice.
Tanner, man, this is your first big one. Shine a light on Tanner real quick.
Well,
this is your first investigation, right?
on camera, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's great. Have you been out here before?
I've been a couple times with Travis.
Man, what I'm excited about is afterwards when we get back and we get to go talk about this on our podcast.
Right.
Everybody's personal experiences on this.
Right.
So I guess it's time to rock and roll, guys. Okay, so quick question then. How would you compare this past investigation when the team was Travis, Tanner, Nick, and Britt Himes? How do you compare that one to the first 2 times you went out there?
It by far was one of the most experienced I've seen out there.
Yeah, it was insane.
And by far the most entertaining.
Yeah, I know Travis. When I mentioned it to Travis, he blows it off because he sees this stuff so much. You know, he said it himself. He's almost jaded to some of this stuff where he's seen so much of it and dealt with so much. But with me and Brittany, dude, we were like, "What in the fuck?" Like It's responding to me.
Where did your accident happen? Are you still here? Is the girl that had the wreck here 3 years ago? Are you still here? Where did the wreck happen? Was it only you, or was there other people in the car? I don't know, man. I feel like I'm getting like 40% of my questions answered.
Yeah, you just can't understand all of them.
I
But
just-
there's an obvious change in how it sounds after you ask a question.
Like I'm asking this box thing, which I have to forgive. When I went out on the last break, I said that about talking a lot or whatever. I made that joke. It's because I guess I was so excited, I wouldn't shut the fuck up. So I was asking a question, then I was asking the next question, then I was asking the next question without understanding, with this being my first investigation, that you need to take time to let it respond, to let your equipment work, to let it do what you're there to do. Because if you keep on top of it, you're not giving any leeway for anything like that.
Exactly.
So I know me and you caught ourselves at the part that I want to talk about next, which was with that spirit box.
Mm-hmm.
Me, you, and Brittany were there. Travis was going backwards. He was at the end of the bridge by himself, which I'm letting you know, at the end of the bridge by yourself is heebie-jeebie land.
Yes.
For sure. So he was down there by himself just doing his thing, and we're basically on the other side of the bridge, and we had this spirit box set up. We're asking it questions. It's making sense what it's saying.
Yeah.
He is doing.
Oh, mine's going crazy. It's red.
Yeah, that's a little.
He is doing it or something. He is doing. Who is?
Who is he?
My camera's full now.
Bobby? Did it just say Bobby?
I heard you say Bobby.
Is this Bobby?
Is your name Bobby?
Did you have an accident on the bridge, Bobby? Did you come through here and hurt yourself?
Are you attracted to being around me because I'm a nurse?
Do you think she could have fixed you if she was here because she's a nurse? She's helped a lot of people that's been in car wrecks or been in bad situations.
Is it?
It's a haunt?
Hot.
Because she's hot. Is it just because she's hot?
That makes sense now.
Nothing to do with the nurse?
Because she's hot. And then
It was very creepy to hear for the first time out there. I think this was our first time using the SB7 out there, and the responses was amazing.
It was insane. It was matching up with almost exactly kind of what the facts are about the bridge.
Yes, what we were asking.
And if I was more informed about it, I would have been able to make more sense about it in the fact that, like, I'll show the clip where it said something about 3, and I was like, oh, did you die here like 3 years ago? Are you okay?
How long has this been your home? 3 years?
Did it say 3 months?
I think it said 3 years. What happened 3 years ago? What made you have to be here? Did you wreck or did you hurt yourself?
Car?
A car wreck? Right? Did you say right?
That's what I heard.
Is it a chick? It sounds like a chick.
Yeah, it changed.
That's a girl.
Is this a girl talking to us now?
Is there somebody else here? What are you doing?
How many people are here with us right now?
You guys can all speak to us. Like, just let us know what you need or what you're trying to say. Like, this is your chance. We're literally here with this stuff just to talk to you. So this is your chance to tell us what happened.
And then you go back and you look it up, and this lady had a car wreck in 1930.
Wow. Okay.
And this lady had a car wreck with this man. And I think they were together, and we were getting responses from a woman and a man. With me, I was trying to, like I said, I was jabbing at it. I was trying to get it rolling, and I was asking it questions like, hey, let the girl talk. You know what I'm saying? And I could have been pissing off this girl's boyfriend or husband or whatever, because he was saying smart ass shit.
Yes, he was.
It was incredible. Like I said, and we have this footage on here and stuff, man. So, I appreciate you being on the show, Tanner.
Yes.
As we're going to wrap up this segment, but what I want to know from you is, what was your favorite thing about this last investigation at Colville Bridge?
Definitely the SB7. It was awesome to see some of the evidence we were getting, by far.
Mm-hmm. Well, man, they can find Tanner here on Investigations. You will see him on other Transparent Podcast shows. We're actually investigating the Legends Barn event tonight.
Really exciting.
Tonight. So we're going to go in there. The owners have said there's been some weird activity, and that building has been in a hot spot of Cynthiana, Kentucky for a long time. So there could be something just hiding in the corner waiting to be found out.
Just never know.
By the team here. The
KPRIS. Boom. We'll be right back with more Transparent Podcast. SkullFace Records Radio.
In a world where no musician is playing real instruments, where everyone is streaming invisible movies, we fight back. One podcast, one record label, bringing you physical media.
Let's talk cassette tapes, vinyl, VHS, Laserdisc, Betamax. Let's talk physical, not invisible.
Only at the Splattercast Massacre podcast on SkullFace Records Radio.
And we are back. We had Tanner Harney in the studio, which, like I said, when he was out there, it was really fun to have him become being a part of the experience with my first investigation, which was a whole lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to tonight, which we're doing the Legends, which we'll hit on here in a second. But Travis, what I want to do right now is just kind of overall, compared to the other experiences you've had out there, and then mixed in with, the experience that we had on our investigation, give us an overall, what's your overall perception of Colville Bridge right now?
That particular investigation that we did, I would say compared to the other Colville Bridge investigations, I'd put it at number one. Definitely most active and all that.
Oh, cool. That's cool to be a part of.
I don't know if I had to squeeze it in Honestly, it probably wouldn't make it in an official top 10 list because I've seen some crazy shit, been some cool
Absolutely.
places, but I'd say if I had to squeeze it in just on a local level, maybe it's about 4 or 5, something like that.
Like if we were scoring it from like a 1 to a 10 or something like that,
I'd
you
say
give it about a
if
4.
If I'm considering like activity level or whatnot, it was pretty active.
Well, that's interesting you say that. What I'm going to do, because we actually have Brittany Himes in the studio, and we still have Tanner Harney over here. They're part of Brittany's a part of the production team, so we appreciate everything she does, and she's always in the studio with us when we're doing this cool stuff. And Tanner's the first time he's been in the studio, so why don't we I'm going to just ask them, what was there from 1 to 10, Tanner? What did you rank the Colville experience? A 6. Boom. So we had a good time. Brittany, same question to you. Yeah, probably a 7 because it was your first one. You got, man, like I said, compared to me at least, you were being all kinds of fucked with, if that's the proper way to say it. Yeah. Besides the talk box where I felt like I was getting some weird ass responses, but she was being, her K2 was going nuts when that box was going on. Like it was unbelievable. So me being that, go ahead.
What the fuck is a talk box?
No, the talk box. Did I say it the wrong? What was the proper way?
Is that technical or what?
Yeah, my bad. I get carried away with my excitement sometime. What's the proper name of that?
The SB7.
The SB7. I called it a talk box. That's the Kentucky.
Got me my talk box, y'all.
My talk box and a bag of rocks.
It's my magic box.
But to me, I was excited, man, and I give it an 8 because it over exceeded any expectations I had completely with my first investigation. Now I might look back, 2 years from now, or hell, 8 months from now, because I've got a whole bunch of investigations under my belt, and might be like, well, shit, I hadn't seen nothing yet.
Wait till we get to Ross or somewhere like that.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting too. But to me, man, like I said, I give it a big 08. So we gave you your scores. If you guys have been out there, or is anybody watching this podcast has been out to the Colville Bridge, let us know what you think. Let us know what you've heard. Let us know what you've seen. Write us in. If you ever are interested in anything on the backside of this, feel free to write us. Feel free to send in some questions to the Transparent Podcast. Right now we're going to shift over to something that goes on about this year, at least for the last 2 years, that's pretty cool here in Cynthiana, Kentucky, and it's something that you started.
Yes.
The Spooktacular.
Jack-o'-lantern Spooktacular.
Boom. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Just decided about 2 years ago, I guess, that we could use a good jack-o'-lantern display in town. We were the #1 fall destination 2 or 3 years ago in the state.
A lot of people come through and see it.
Thought, it'd be nice to have a big display. So,
and are you still looking for people to be on the committee? I know that myself and my wife committed to being on the committee.
Yeah,
part of the committee.
No, the shitty committee.
Are you still looking for more people to be a part of it?
Maybe depends. I gotta see who actually comes through. I've gotten a full house, but
so if you're interested in helping that here, it takes place right here in Cynthiana, Kentucky. It's something that's local. It's something that's tradition. That's becoming tradition. That's a whole lot of fun for the community that a lot of people see. So if any of you guys are interested in that, reach out to us if you'd like to be a part of it. I know the committee that's together. We're meeting this Sunday. It's going to be exciting.
At 6 p.m.
It's the first time that we all get under the moon together and discuss the planet. That's cool, man. I guess we're going to move on to the next destination. Then I guess Colville Bridge is officially closed on Transparent Podcast. So we're on to the next one, which is a rock throw distance from where we're sitting.
Probably spit and hit it.
A spit and hit from right here.
That's a loogie.
We could loogie and hit it from right here. We're talking about Legends Bar and Events.
Be interesting.
I started working there on the weekends probably about 3 months ago. When I was there, I was talking about what me and you do. We're starting up this podcast, going and doing investigations, figuring out and being transparent about the most haunted areas in Cynthiana, Kentucky. And one of the owners, Paige Jones, actually told me that she's had some interesting experiences in the bar. So I was like, well, we do investigations. If you want us to come in there and look at stuff and check it out and see what's going on, we'd be more than welcome. And she, with open arms, is excited about us being in there, and we're doing that tonight.
It's going to be good.
The last night of August. The last night of August. If it was the last night of October, we'd be having a hell of a party. We'll be rocking and rolling. So we're looking forward to that. Could you tell the people out there what we may be using, what our kind of like what our setup plan might be, or some ideas you might have going into this investigation tonight?
Well, they'll see on the podcast now, of course, Colville is kind of free form. It's a weird location. You know, you're in a road. You got to be ready to move shit and all.
Which we had to do.
Yeah. This will be a much more stationary, you know, we can break out static cameras and SLS camera and all that good stuff and really do a much more in-depth actual investigation.
That's exciting.
It should be good, man.
That building's been there a long time. I remember it being, and there's been so many different energies in there. Yeah. It's been so many businesses, and for some reason, none of those businesses has ever worked out.
All this, you know, Civil War related. There was a Union Depot right across the street. And a lot of activity related to that.
It's a hot spot. And I don't think I've ever known of anyone investigating this building before.
Not that I'm aware of.
Well, I know it's going to be the first time for the Transparent Podcast and the KPRIS.
With our talk box.
With the talk box. That's going to be a lot of fun, man. Well, dude, I guess we're wrapping it up, man. I guess the next time you see us, we're going to be in the Legends Barn events. We're going to be doing our investigation. I believe our crew tonight is going to be the same crew from Colville Bridge. Do you know if anybody else is going to be attending this evening?
Not that I'm aware of.
Cool, man. Well, we appreciate everyone that's tuned into episode 2. I hope you guys enjoyed our footage and all the information that we've provided for Colville Bridge here in Cynthiana, Kentucky. So for Travis Franklin, Tanner Harney, Brittany Himes, I'm Nichimes, and we'll be back on the next episode of Transparent Podcast, SkullFace Records Radio.